Hey, what's going on? William here again, and welcome to the first video of Module 1. Okay, so in this module, we're gonna have the first really actionable stuff about creating campaigns. We're gonna get started setting up the first campaigns, choosing the offers, going through the optimization process, and hopefully we're gonna start also making some money with CPA offers. Okay, so in this first module, we're going to be talking about social PPC. Okay, so what is social PPC? Social PPC is basically, it's a term that we use for paid advertising on social networks like Facebook, like Plenty of Fish, like LinkedIn. So it's advertising, paid advertising on social networks. So that's the term that we use for to describe that advertising model, social PPC. So social PPC, it's going to be the first thing we're going to use. Okay, it's the only thing we're going to cover in Module 1. We're going to go with other things. You will learn other traffic sources and other techniques in the future. But in this first module, we're going to put 100% of our focus on social PPC. Why? Well, there are a few reasons why social PPC is a good option, a good choice for a beginner. So let's go through some of them. So first of all, social PPC, it's newbie friendly. You don't have to be an experienced marketer. You don't have to have a lot of knowledge, skills, or a huge budget. You can get started with a low budget, some knowledge, and you can learn a lot with social PPC while you make some money. All right, so it's extremely newbie friendly, way more newbie friendly than PPC on search engines, for example, or PPV or media buying. So it's a great first step for a beginner, for someone who's looking to get started with CPA. All right. Second thing, social PPC can produce fast results. Okay, you're not gonna have to spend several weeks or even months setting up a bunch of campaigns until you find one that that seems to be a winner and that seems to have some potential. With social PPC, you're going to be able to be constantly setting up new campaigns and finding new winning campaigns really fast. I'm not saying that you're going to become. I'm not saying that you're going to be rich overnight. That's not going to happen. It's not a push button system. It requires hard work and it's a real business, but it's much faster in terms of producing results than the vast majority of the other methods or traffic sources out there. So I'm assuming that you certainly have long-term goals, things that we're going to have to use other traffic sources to reach, but I'm sure that initially you would be happy, if you could see some cash flow, some money coming after creating a few campaigns. And if that's your wish, if that's what you want to do, social PPC will produce the fast results that you were looking for. All right. So another aspect, the campaigns, they're really easy to set up. Okay. So the campaigns, they are not too complex. They do not require things like opt-in page where people have to go to the landing page, subscribe with their email address. Then then you have to send them an autoresponder series. Then after that, you have to start pre-selling the offers and blah blah blah. Long process. No, it isn't necessary. With social PPC, the campaigns are all easy to set up. You won't necessarily be direct linking, but they are easy to set up, they're fast to set up, and once you set up your initial campaigns, it's really fast to get things going, to get the ball rolling. So with social PPC, you're not going to have to worry about creating a complex, a very, let's say, complicated structure for your campaigns. Another thing that's very important is that it's demographic based, okay? So social PPC, it's based on demographics. They're going to be targeting people based on their demographics. So what does it mean? Basically, it means that when you set up a campaign on a social PPC platform, you're going to specify what type of people you want to target. What country, what age range, what gender, sometimes what income level, what education level, if they are, interested in men or looking for women. So if they're single, married, divorced, you name it. You're going to be targeting people based on their demographics and on their interests. Some people think that the best initially is to target people based on keywords, like on search engines. Target people, display ads to users based on the keywords that they search for. But that's not right. Actually, demographic-based traffic is way more targeted than keyword-based traffic for one simple reason. When you are selling something, when you are trying to convince someone to complete an offer, it's absolutely essential that you understand, that you know who is on the other side. All right? So if you do not know who is on the other side, what type of person is on the other side, it's really tough to expose them to the right benefits to get them to complete the offer. For example, let's say that you are promoting a dating site. If you are on a search engine, maybe you know that the person searched for dating site, that was the keyword. But you do not know if it's a mature woman, looking for a companion, for a serious person, for an established man, for a long-term relationship. Or maybe it's not a mature woman, maybe it's a young woman looking for a young man to live some nice adventures with, to have a very intense life with. Or maybe it's a young man just looking for some beautiful, gorgeous girls. Or maybe it's a mature man looking for a companion, for a good woman to share the moments with. You have no idea on who is on the other side. So you do not know what's the right offer to promote. You do not know what's the right benefit that you should expose to convince them to complete the offer. So it's a more complex science, let's say, when you have just a keyword. With demographic-based traffic, you know exactly who's on the other side. You decide who you want to reach, what's the audience that you want to reach, and then you know exactly how to set up your campaign to make it targeted for your visitors. So it's really important, okay? Working with demographic-based traffic will allow you to have extremely targeted campaigns. You will know exactly who is on the other side, and it will make it the process of convincing people to complete offers a lot easier for you. So that's also a very important aspect. I always recommend beginners to get started with demographic-based traffic. And then there is one more topic, which is social PPC is perfect for learning. It's the best school you could have in the beginning of your CPA journey. With social PPC, you can learn how to create effective landing pages without having to create super complex landing pages. You can learn how to properly set up the targeting of a campaign and having all the demographics at your disposal. It's not like with media buying, for example, where you have to find out what are the demographics of the visitors of the website. Have to do a lot of research to find out what demographics you're going to be reaching with your campaigns. Now, with social PPC, you can just go to the platform and specify that you want to target men between 20 and 30 who are living in the US, who are single. You can determine exactly what demographics you're going to be targeting. So you're going to be learning how to work with demographics, but it's not going to be super complex because you're going to have a platform with all the demographics at your disposal. So for this reason, it's a perfect school. You're going to learn how to set up landing page, how to go through the optimization process. You're going to learn how to improve the targeting of your campaigns. And you're going to learn how to do all of these things with a low budget. You're not going to have to make a high upfront investment. And more than that, you're going to learn all of those things while you make money. Okay, so it's the perfect school. It's the best place for you to get started with CPA. And that's why we're going to be focusing on social PPC on Module 1. Okay, so there are some people saying, because if you go to forums, if you go to blogs, if you are an active person in the internet marketing community, and more specifically in the CPA community, you'll see that people say bad things about all the traffic sources. There are guys who say that Bing doesn't work, other guys saying that 7 search has only crap traffic. There are guys saying that AdWords is really a pain, that they have a terrible platform. There are guys saying bad things about Facebook, about POF, about the PPV platforms. People are always blaming the traffic sources, but the vast majority of the traffic sources, they're not bad. The problem is that people do not know how to use them. So if you see any negative comments about the traffic sources we're going to be talking about in this in this first module, do not worry about that. It doesn't mean that the traffic source doesn't have potential or that it won't produce the expected results. Okay, the only thing you have to understand is that there are many people out there who are trying to use these traffic sources and who are doing this in the wrong way, who are not using the traffic sources in the proper way. And for that reason, they are certainly frustrated with the traffic source. But the problem is in their techniques, in their methods, in their strategies, not in the traffic source itself. Right? So the traffic source, the social PPC platforms, they are fantastic. They're they are actually very easy to use. You'll see that as we go with the training. And there is a lot of potential, a lot of money to be made with social PPC. If you need a number, it's not easy to give an exact number. Oh, okay, you can make $100 a day with social PPC. It's not easy to say that, but it's really not hard to reach 3 figures a day in profits just with social PPC. It's possible, it's doable, and a beginner can do it as long as they follow the right process, as long as they keep focused, and as long as they have a little bit of patience to go through the learning curve, to test campaigns, and to find some winning campaigns. All right? So you have, with social PPC, you're going to have everything that you need to start your CPA career, to start your CPA journey in a proper way, having some cool campaigns and already making some money. So stick with this module, go through all of the lessons. Do not miss any important parts of the training. Go through everything. Make sure that you take action. You're going to have some action videos. Make sure to take action, okay? And also one more thing is that don't forget that the modules, they are divided into 2 different parts. The first part, it is the traditional method. The traditional method or the classical method, it's basically the thing that everybody else out there is doing when it comes to social PPC. Okay, so everybody out there are doing pretty much the same thing. They have the same strategies. Not exactly the same thing, but things along the same lines. So it's important that you learn the traditional method as well. It's really important because if you learn the traditional method, the classic method, if you learn that, you see that you will already be able to set up campaigns and start getting results. If you have the right strategy to approach that classic method, you will see that it's possible to start seeing some results, to get some campaigns up and running, to start making some money. But as soon as you learn the traditional method and you get the first campaigns up and running with that traditional method, then you can move to the second part of the module, which is the evolution. The evolution, it's basically when you start using a strategy that's the outside the box strategy. The thing that other people are not using, the thing that's gonna be your advantage when competing with other marketers, right? So actually, the evolution parts, all the modules are gonna have an evolution part. And that evolution part is the thing that I use as a technique, as a strategy that I use to have an advantage when competing with other marketers and other affiliates. So basically, in the evolution part, I'll be revealing to you in this module the top technique that I have to work with social PPC and skyrocket the profitability of my campaigns. I make my campaigns more profitable with pretty much the same traffic. And for this reason, I can afford to spend more on my traffic. I can get more volume. I can make more money with my campaigns. So you're going to be creating a basic campaign. Then you're going to be applying the evolution to that campaign, and you will see the potential and the earnings from that campaign. You're going to see go through the roof. Okay, so that's the idea of the evolution part. So start with the traditional part. You're going to have an action video at the end of the traditional part. Take action, implement everything with that action video. Then move on to the evolution, and at the end of the evolution you will also have an action video. Make sure to implement that video as well to take action and get things going with the evolution as well. So this is how the first module is going to work. We're going to work with social PPC. Great place for you to get started, great model for you to use in the beginning of your CPA journey. And you're going to have the traditional model and the evolution part that together will allow you to create super profitable campaigns that will make you very good money, in just a matter of days or weeks. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I see you on the next video.